Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I'm super excited for this video because we're going to be playing with the new Blend Bunny Cosmetics Longing Palette. This is launching on June 26th at 9 a.m. PST. It's going to be $42 US, but you can use my affiliate code AMYLOVES to save, I believe, 10% off the Blend Bunny website. And it is a beautiful, muted, colorful, cool tone palette dream. There's some beautiful plummy tones. We've got some true grays, some greens, and then like almost like cool tone olives right here. So I figured today we could go ahead and swatch everything out together. And then I pulled out all, you could see I've got so many palettes. I believe this is every Blend Bunny eyeshadow palette here. And we're gonna do a bunch of comparisons as well, just so that you can see if you already own any of these, what's new in the Longing palette. What's the difference? Is this worth adding to your collection? So let's jump on in. I'm gonna swatch these in columns the way that they are organized by their color family. So the very first shade here is All That's Left. And it's a beautiful like white silver metallic shadow. Feels very creamy to the touch, very, very silky. We've got Sonder, which looks like a really pale, cool toned olive. Stolen Glance, which I would say is more of like a mid-tone, cool olive. And then we've got Long Ago. Such a cute palette. So that looks like it's just a true, I don't know where I was going with my hand, right off the screen. That just looks like a true black matte shadow. Super pretty. Definitely has like some nice little sparkles to it. Okay. Just gonna build up these two matte shades just so you can see them a little bit better. Next we have an even more green column. So we've got Star-Crossed, which looks like a pale, kind of like spring green. We've got Bittersweet. I would describe as like a true olive matte. Unrequited. I feel like, I don't know if you can see the shadow, it does have a little bit of fallout. They're a little bit soft, so definitely make sure to tap off your brush before you go in with these mattes. But this is like a very deep, deep brown, I would say. And then we've got Remorse, which is a deep olive metallic. Ooh, again, very sparkly. Next we have some beautiful, more teal-esque shades. We've got If Only, which again is a silky, sparkly metallic. We've got Whoa. Feels very soft, very pigmented, just a beautiful light teal matte. We've got Sorrow, a little bit of a deeper teal, and then Melancholy, which is a very deep teal. It almost looks black, but it definitely has a greeny blue undertone to it. Yeah, you can definitely see it swatched out a little bit better. So there is the first half of the palette all swatched out. Like I said, we've got some cool tones, but we've got a lot of muted color. It's very, very cute. Next we have another column of teal type shades, but these are all a little bit more on the muted side. So we've got Misty Eyed. See, it's just like a little bit more soft than the previous ones. We've got Bottled Up. That's a vibe. It almost looks like it has like this combination of gray and teal. Super pretty. Forlorn, which looks like a deep greenish color, but I'll be honest, between that and Melancholy, I feel like they look pretty similar. And then we've got When It Rains, which is so beautiful. It's got this like purpley base and this really pretty green shimmer through it. And I also love that. I always say when it rains, it pours. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is stunning. I feel like this has potential to be my new favorite palette from Blend Bunny. Like, oh my goodness. That's so pretty. Love, 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 love. Next, we've got some true cool tones here, which I'm very, very excited about. We've got December, which just looks like a really stunning, very bright silver metallic. We've got Dear Diary, which is a very pale gray. Old Photographs, which is a mid-tone gray. And then Heartbreak. Okay, so I guess if you compare that to Long Ago looks a little bit brown, like in the pan. But again, I feel like those two look very, very similar. Last but certainly not least, we've got our little pop of purple. So we've got Twist of Fate, which is a very, very pale, kind of like lavender matte shade. We've got Pleading, which I'd say is like a purpley gray. Take Me Back, which is a, I would say like a muted eggplant purple matte. And then lastly, we've got Love Letters. Ooh, that's so pretty as well. It has like this pinky purple base and then blue and teal sparkles throughout it. Another really pretty shimmer. There is the entire palette swatched out. I think it looks really, really pretty. I do feel like there's a few shades that I think are gonna look the same on the eyes, but overall, I really like the tones. I like the color story and I'm excited to use it. So let's jump into some comparisons. So I'll just keep the Longing palette here on this side. First, I'm just kind of going through these one by one, no particular order. We've got the Makina palette, which I think you can tell completely different. This is very neon, very bright. I believe that this palette, I think it was discontinued. I might have to double check that, but I think this was discontinued and I don't really feel like there's anything to compare here. Of course, we've got our deep shades, which I think maybe Shutdown and Heartbreak would be similar, but overall, pretty different vibes. We've got the Surge palette, which again, very, very bright in comparison. I even feel like the olive tones are slightly different. We have this green right here, which is a little bit similar. Like it feels like it could belong in this column, but it's not quite the same. I also feel like these shades right here would be complementary towards this palette, but again, not necessarily repetitive. We've got Sickly Sweet, which I adore this palette so much, but again, you can see these are very pastel shades and they're very bright pastels. So even if you think like, oh, this and this might look a little bit similar, if you actually swatch them out, they're gonna be quite different. I also have the All Done Up palette, which I feel like if you like All Done Up, you'd probably like Longing. Like these feel like half sisters. I think I want to swatch Accentuate right here next to Remember. Yeah, those are pretty similar. And then for the mattes, again, I feel like this is complementary to what's happening here, but I can't necessarily say that I see any repeats. We've got the Blends palette, the OG, which here, let's see. I feel like this is brighter. Like these are typical colorful shades. They're not necessarily neon or anything, but I still feel like they're just a lot more vibrant than the Longing palette. The Longing palette just has much more muted tones. Of course, you've got the black, which I think would be similar. You've got a gray here, but this gray is more of like a true gray, and this gray has a little bit more of a blue undertone to it. These greens and teals are just much, much brighter. So again, I feel like nothing's really repeating. We've got Sugar and Grunge, which between these, again, I think these two are a very complementary set. Even like all these shimmers I think would look really beautiful with this set here. Let's see, maybe let's do If Only and Butterfly. Okay, If Only is a little bit more muted, but those two are pretty close. We've got some gray tones here, but again, I feel like those are a little bit more gray and these have a little bit more blue to them. We've got these like deepening shades, which kind of similar. We also have a shade here called Teen Spirit, like a deep teal, and maybe that's a little similar to Bottled Up, but again, I feel like this is just a little bit brighter. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Bottled Up has a little bit more of a gray undertone to it. Okay, we've got the Primal palette, which I don't think that this is available anymore. This is very jewel toned. I don't think I'm seeing anything super similar here. Kind of looking back and forth. I think we're good. We have got the Lure palette. And let's see, again, we've got like this type of like tealish shade. This one is Folklore, super soft. And then in comparison to If Only, this one's just a little tiny bit brighter. We also have some more teal tones, but again, these are very bright. These are very muted. Next, we have the Dollhouse palette, which again, I feel like these are cute together. I feel inspired actually. We have a shade here called Chantilly, which is a deeper olive. And I really want to swatch that next to Remorse just to see. Okay, Remorse has a little bit more green in it, and Chantilly is a little bit more bronzy. So they're kind of similar, but not quite the same. I feel like Hold Me looks like it belongs in this row, but it doesn't look the same. And then we do have the Forget Me Not palette from Blend Bunny, which is a face and eye palette, and I just thought I would show it next to one another, but I don't think that there's anything really repeating here. Maybe Memories, because it's like this like whitish silver and all that's left. But all that's left is more silver, and this is more white, and this one's technically like also a highlighter formula. So that is the Blend Bunny Longing palette. I feel pleasantly surprised with all the comparisons. I thought that there was gonna be more things repeating. I didn't think that this was gonna stand out as much as it does from their other palettes, but it seems like it really is adding something to the collection. I think it's really, really pretty. I'm excited to use it. I think that you could do, you know, some really beautiful soft looks with this. I think you could go very smoky, very dramatic. I think these shimmers are just above and beyond beautiful. Some of the prettiest I've seen from Blend Bunny. Like I said, this is launching on the 26th, so I'll have everything linked down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!